Welcome to Game 1 of the elimination round of the finals of the NA Bracket Star-Crossed Cup. This time, Lemon and Disillusion are going to be playing as allies, and they're actually going to be mixed allies. I have to say I'm pretty surprised to see them pull out US forces in the elimination round.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
And I'm quite excited to see it because the US forces have been so underrepresented in this tournament, and we'll see how they perform. Meanwhile, on the right side, we have Honey Nuts playing as Austere, and Dusty has actually picked Over Commando West. So we will have all four factions represented this game. And the map is once again Lierneux. And actually, Dusty and Honey Nuts just played as Axis last game, and they're playing as Axis again. Again, it's a new best of 3, and considering that Dusty and Honey Nuts won previously, I guess I'm not sure who got first pick. Actually, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that Dusty and Honey Nuts probably got map pick and picked this map, and that Lemon and Disillusion then picked allies.
It is now under our control.
Maybe, or the opposite. I don't know. I guess I'm really not sure.
Conscripts here.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
I have taken it.
Fighting position going up here very early. Interesting. Guess we'll see if that helps. Against this building, I don't think the grenades can reach, and I think it's too far away to reach that building, but of course it will easily be able to cover this fuel point. I almost feel like if he'd put it like a little closer right there, he could have reached that building. I don't know. The fighting position will protect against the Kuba wagon at the very least, forcing it to constantly reposition. Conscripts will not be able to complete their capturing there of the fuel point, though, unfortunately. Meanwhile, here in the south, conscripts are grabbing the victory point, and riflemen are moving down to fight these Axis troops. Honey Nuts being forced back. If we take a look at Honey Nuts, he probably has Luftwaffe supply again. Yes, he does. Same 3 doctrines as before, and we'll see if he chooses to do the same thing. Mechanized assault is pretty popular against US forces, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that by any means. Dusty's Kuba wagon doing what it can here. It looks like the Allies have managed to finish capturing. And Dusty's kind of struggling with his fighting positions, rifle grenades, a little bit. Kuba wagon will probably be able to force these conscripts away, though, from Lemon. Meanwhile, down here, Grenadiers are winning out against, ooh, retreat those. Oh, Pioneers get sniped at long range by the Riflemen. But I think these Grenadiers are definitely going to win out in this engagement if the Allies don't charge. Since I think the Grenadiers just generally have better cover in these trees. Yeah, I think so. I think Honey Nuts could win this engagement. As long as he focuses the rifles down, which he is. They're going to be forced away. He can switch to the conscripts, and they definitely won't be able to handle 2 Grenadier squads, so Honey Nuts wins the south despite being slightly double-teamed. Actually, there's a presence from both teams in both locations, so Honey Nuts wins just purely with Grenadiers, doesn't even need to field a machine gun to win that engagement. Meanwhile, here in the middle, Dusty still really has accomplished nothing against this fighting position. He's going to be forced to retreat everything. And I'm actually a little bit surprised he didn't use his Kuba wagon to take the north fuel, focusing instead on the center fuel. The Kuba wagon gives him that extra mobility advantage. Could have used that up there in the north. He's caught by those combat engineers and has to reposition now. And it looks like he's going to be purchasing his first tech structure, probably battle group. Yep. And he will have to do some reinforcement here in the base. Ooh, flank coming in here from the Allies. That's gonna definitely push Honey Nuts back. There's no way he'll be able to fend this off. He's also standing in the road. Nice flank by those conscripts through the woods. Honey Nuts instantly retreats. He knows he has no chance. He retreats everything. Perfectly executed. Pretty textbook, really. More riflemen here. If we take a look at Disillusion's build, we will see 3 riflemen, lieutenant into utility car, in addition to his fighting position. No cache is constructed. So, pretty standard stuff. He's also picked airborne. So we're not seeing anything too crazy. Pretty standard US Forces build here. We'll see if he can pull it off.
We're all done over here.
2-2-1 hitting the field from Honey Nuts, and he's doing a pretty similar thing to what he did last game, just kind of blobbing grenadiers around. Having some success with it. He knows he's not really going to encounter any MGs. Lemon is just now taking to tier 2, but I don't think they've seen any tier 2 units yet, and I have no idea if Lemon actually intends to get an MG. I would be just surprised to see him max him. He's actually got 5 conscripts this game. He's investing in conscripts even harder this game than last game. So he seems to think that that's a good investment. But once again, I'm surprised to see Molotovs so late. I'm not sure I understand why he would invest so hard in conscripts but not upgrade Molotovs. It's kind of weird.
The hard part will be keeping it. Be brave, comrades! Your predecessor died a hero! Man down! We have it!
Conscripts being forced away by these grenadiers here, and the 222 has been upgraded. Possibly going to think about hunting down the M20, which they have seen. It's got 1 kill. But of course he needs to be careful about the M20's anti-tank mines, which are extremely strong. Planting one right now here in a pretty defensive position. Stern Pioneers moving up. They're about to hit Vet 1 if they can just snipe. Yep, there they go. And again, Vet 1's not that important when you go battle group headquarters because you don't need access to the medical supply boxes. And Lemon has a lot of conscripts. Wow. He is spamming them so hard. Kubel's about to get flanked by the M20. It's gonna like burst through this fence. That Kubel's dead. There's no chance. I don't think that AT grenade was really necessary, but they really didn't want it to get away, I guess. Big allied push from these conscripts is gonna force away Dusty's Folks Grenadiers here. Meanwhile, in the center, he's got a Sturmoffizier actually, so he's thinking about a Jagdtiger, I guess. Moving into that house. Going to circle. Ooh, we actually have a AA half-track being produced in addition to the utility car, and Honey Nuts was really slow to react to that. I mean, he just pretty much let his 222 die. All of his Grenadiers will be forced to retreat, and I think that Disillusion's utility car is going to wipe that squad. Oh, what's he doing? Why would he not chase that? I can't believe he just let that get away. Such a waste. I don't know what he was thinking.
Infantry attacking in force!
Conscripts moving up here. And And Lemon has no shortage of conscripts, that's for sure. But I still think that he would probably be doing better if he would upgrade Molotovs. I'm almost... No, he's on tier 2, so yeah. I was about to say, I was almost curious if he was copying Lenny's build of going, like 8 conscripts into conscript support and then using, whatever that ability's called that replaces your losses. I can't remember what it's called. It's called, like, something.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
But I don't think he's doing that.
Replacements have arrived. Hit him with crossfire!
And what excites me most about this game is that it's completely, just wildly different from the last game. It was even the same, like, factions and the same maps, not exactly the same factions.
Soviet HQ now includes a field.
Now there's Western Front armies here, but
Only for those who assist enemy forces capturing
usually every game is just a repeat of what happened before, but this is just completely new. That's mostly because there's U.S. forces over Commando West on the field. And Lemon is now spamming like a zillion conscripts instead of what he did last game. So really, only Honeynuts is the person who's doing the same thing that he did last game. He's the only boring element here. Oh no! Dusty just set that up in a horrible location! Oh, did he get a refund for that? Did he get a refund for that? I think he did, right? Maybe? I wasn't watching his resources closely enough. I don't know if he took enough damage on it or not for him to get a refund. I think he got a refund though. Judging by his resources right now, I think he did. Infantry moving up. Meanwhile, up here, the infantry after the AA half-track is doing a nice job of counter-harassment, forcing Dusty to retreat. We'll probably get away since the AA half-track is actually quite bad at chasing compared to other light vehicles. Then again, he has to retreat through a massive army of conscripts. And I'm actually pretty surprised to see Dusty going with double Sturm Pioneers. I guess he thinks he can make that work. Ooh, grenade misses. This. Dusty's having a lot of trouble dealing with the AA half-track in addition to these massive waves of conscripts. But Honeynuts is doing just fine in the south. There hasn't really been much harassment attempt for those munitions, and he's doing a good job keeping those in Axis hands. And depending on what Honeynuts decides to do, those munitions could be important. Mechanized assault. Okay, so he has not gone with Stuka Dive Bomb again. Interestingly enough. And in fact, I'm not sure what Lemon's doctrine selection is yet. He hasn't made one. That's 6 command points he hasn't made one, which is so unusual to see conscript spam. Conscript spam for this long. 13 minutes in the game and he still made essentially nothing but conscripts and a field gun. And it's kind of working. It could be working better. Usually the advantage of conscript spam is map control. And he's not really sending even like that. He's not really sending any squads down here to the south, despite, you know, he probably could considering how many he's got. Although I think he's lost a handful of them as well. Pretty nice micro of these light vehicles from Disillusion as well. They haven't had like all that dramatic of an impact. Oh no, there's a Jagdpanzer on the field from Dusty. Kind of a surprising purchase. That might catch them off guard. Usually people who go battle group will take to Schwer Panzer HQ immediately thereafter, but a Jagdpanzer first is quite new. Not that it's not viable, I think the Jagdpanzer is extremely effective in its role. If it gets a little too greedy though, I'm afraid it's going to hit one of these anti-tank mines. Stug E also hitting the field. Pretty awesome blob over here for it to fire at.
Enemy is engaging us. We are bleeding, comrade.
do manage to clear the pack. The Stug is just not getting any hits off. Anti-tank rifle grenade going off as well. Does penetrate, damaging the engine. It's kind of like a little unsupported. There's a second one hitting the field though, which is probably going to prove to be a little bit much for these infantry to contend with, but there is a pack and a field gun pointed at him. Oh, so much damage. I think that bush is like blocking the way or something, and Dusty comes in to support just the perfect time. But all of these conscripts are also firing on like everything. But if they don't close the gap a little bit, ooh, can only do so much. Oh, a Sherman is hitting the field. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, what is he doing? He has HE rounds equipped. Now I'm really confused. Now he's charging in reverse. Now I feel like he kind of messed up a little bit. Oh no. Conscripts come in to support just in time, clearing out the pack. The Stuggies are not really getting any good shots off. He still has HE rounds equipped. And I don't know what he's doing. That was not the best Sherman micro I've ever seen. He definitely was not going to be able to squeeze through that opening. He was in a completely dead end down there. And I think that just goes to show some inexperience with the map, actually.
Enemy contact!
People still haven't learned the best flanking routes and where you can go and where you can't go in the heat of the moment. I think he made a bit of a poor judgment call,
Coming marked and targeted.
throwing that Sherman into an inescapable situation.
For deployment. Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland. We are losing territory.
This pack has changed hands like 4 times already. Ooh. High explosive barrage prevents the Fusiliers from taking it. I'm almost surprised that they're not just going to destroy it with their own field guns. Nice positioning of the ambulance here. The Allied infantry are going to be back in the fight in no time. That being said, the way they're blobbing like this leaves them with no map control. Axis map control is so strong right now, just like last game, and they're going to get outproduced if they can't keep up. They're doing pretty okay in engagements, but they could be doing better. And it's because they can't keep up with the opponent's like vehicles and stuff. That's the professional term for it anyway. The Jagdpanzer has a vehicle destroyed. I wonder what it was. Take a look at Disillusion again. I mean, his Sherman, all of his vehicles are dead. I don't know how any of them died. I missed every single one of their deaths except for the Sherman. But apparently Dusty got him with that Jagd. And probably also his Panzer Shreks. Schwerpanzer HQ is now going up. So I'm wondering if he's going to go from Jagd into Panther? Or maybe he just wants to get some Obers out so he can contend with all of this infantry, start cutting down these massive waves of conscripts. Nice grenade, ooh. Having a little late to retreat there. Although this high explosive barrage, oh no! Perfect. Wipes that Fusilier squad.
All done over here. Enemy armor's chewing us up. Airborne on the ground.
Infantry support gun from Dusty as well, and the double T-34 call-in is so much earlier this game from Levin. Look at that, way earlier. I think he's done a much better job of preserving his manpower, really, since I think that was what was slowing it down before. Relying solely on conscripts, which are not very manpower expensive, and you're only utilizing like 5 to 6 squads, I think. A few of them got wiped, but yeah, his reinforcement costs have not been all that high, so his manpower, he was able to save it up and bring in 2 T-34s by the 19-minute mark, and I don't know, the Axis are pretty ready for it. They have a Jagdpanzer, and the Jagdpanzer is just great against medium tanks. It's got way better mobility than the Jagdtiger, for example, so it can kite them all day. and it has awesome range penetration.
E-34-85 tanks are now ready for use. Use them to crush the Huns.
So much for that rifle squad. I think Disillusion's kind of struggling here. Take a look. Yeah, he's kind of lagging behind everybody for damage and kills. And I'm actually pretty surprised to only see paratroopers just now. I think this might be his first paratrooper call, and it's at 13 command points. I'm not sure I understand that. Instead relying pretty much entirely on riflemen. And despite relying entirely on riflemen, he spent really no munitions on bars or bazookas or anything, so he's really struggling to compete with this infantry. I guess he spent probably quite a lot of munitions actually on M20 anti-tank mines. Pretty brutal engagement happening in this road. Jagdpanzer getting some shots off over here. Pretty good damage to that T-34, wow. And taking pretty much none in return. Meanwhile, that Stuggy's up to 18 kills. I think Honey Nuts took some losses, but nothing he can't deal with as soon as he recruits some of these team weapons here. But Allied harassment of the north continues. Paratroopers moving across to grab the victory point. Riflemen also harassing the southern forest, although I don't know how far they're going to get with that Stuggy right there. It's probably going to move to counter like right now. We also have a munitions cache about to go down. Paratroopers also walk into the arc of the Schwer Panzer HQ, so they do know about it now. If we take a look at Dusty, he's going to go with Obers. Yeah, okay, no huge surprises there. Not investing all that strongly in Panzer Fusiliers. A lot of people who go breakthrough tactics get like 3 or 4 or 5 Panzer Fusilier squads, but he's just going to grab Obers instead. And his infantry army is actually pretty weak right now. I think he's taken quite a few losses. No resource flip from him either. As he has spent 480 manpower on an infantry support gun and another 300 on the retreat point here. Ooh, Molotov goes off on that double vet MG. Flank coming in across the road as well. Squad retreats. Stug is taking damage from this field gun and needs to pull back. Oh, abandoned. That was very lucky for Honey Nuts. If the Allies don't follow up on that somehow, he may be able to recover this. And it's actually interesting that, this was mentioned before, but even after it gets abandoned and recruited, it still has armor skirts. And I don't know if it still actually has the armor bonus or not. And if it does, I don't know what happens if it hits Vet 2 again. So that'll be a fun trivia question for somebody who knows a lot about stats and like how the game works. Nice Molotov, 3 flame crits, and the conscript squad gets away by a hair. I still think he should have teched Molotovs way earlier. I'm surprised he waited this long. He's kind of hurting for munitions though. Only has 50 at the moment. I guess he's just planting a lot of mines, although I'm not certain exactly where it's going. A lot of back and forth this game. This one, I think this one's anyone's game so far. It's really close, but that being said, Disillusion is U.S. forces. He's kind of struggling to keep up, but he's making up for that with map harassment. But again, I'm surprised there's not more of a presence in the south by the Allies. There's not really anything defending on any of this. It would certainly be easier to push down there than up here, because this is pretty much where the Axis stronghold is. Lemon kind of probing for weaknesses with his conscripts here. There's not much he can do with those grenadiers, those LMG grenadiers in green cover, but he does manage to steal that machine gun, so that's definitely a win. But stealing those packs would be even better, I think. Certainly no easy feat, though. And it looks like Lemon's actually grabbed a heavy mortar. Yep. But like I said before, on this map it's harder to get a heavy mortar into position to fire on the Axis position. Certainly not nearly as easy as it is on Smoski Winter. Wow, I didn't even know Disillusion had a Scott. Well, it's dead now. Just goes to show that Dusty's making great use of that Jagdpanzer. 3 vehicle kills. That's just devastating. That was a great purchase by him. He's really making it count.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
Lemon is harassing here in the south with all of his conscripts. We actually have assault artillery getting called in by Dusty here. And I'm not sure this heavy mortar is going to get clear. I'm not even sure that T-34 is going to get clear. Oh, lucky shell. That was like one of the last artillery shells falling. What are the odds? That has got to hurt. Wow. I can't believe that just happened. I've been saying that assault artillery is the worst off-map artillery in the game for this entire tournament, and it just killed a T-34-85. So I guess I stand corrected. Obersoldaten doing what they can against the U.S. forces blob, reinforcing here at the ambulance. I don't know if he can out-reinforce the damage he's about to take. Oh, he just retreated. Interesting. I think if the Jagdpanzer just moved up and blasted the ambulance, he probably could have won this engagement, in all honesty. But he decided to just pull back. Oh no! Finally, it's an M20 mine. Disillusion's probably been waiting for that the entire game, and that Jagdpanzer's a sitting duck. All of the supporting infantry just ran away. That is catastrophic. I don't think there's any way that this thing can survive what's about to happen here, especially with a stolen pack. It's not even an American AT gun, it's a stolen German pack. And a Jackson. It's definitely dead. There's no way the Allies don't manage to take that out. Although, Honeynuts is trying to move up to support. Light artillery barrage being called in on the pack. Pear's actually going up on this quite quickly, and we actually have a smoke barrage from Honeynuts' mortar covering the Jagdpanzer's repairs. The Obers and Panzer Fusiliers have also made it up, but some kind of artillery is getting called in on the Jags now. Not sure if it's going to get repaired before whatever that is arrives. What is that? Oh, it does get repaired just in time. What is falling? What was that red smoke? Nothing happened. Oh, it's a P-47 strike. Fortunately, with all these obstacles and stuff in the way, I think that Jagdpanzer's going to be fine. Wow, I can't believe they didn't kill that. They had ample opportunity. They had ample opportunity, and it manages to get away. So Honeynuts basically just saved that Jagd, I think, with the smoke barrage. That was a great smoke barrage. I just can't even believe that that Jagd is alive right now. P-47s are like completely missing too. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten clear of the strike zone. Barrage just ended anyway. So kind of a disappointing P-47, and Honeynuts has actually grabbed a Tiger. Not going to be making any attempt at going with medium armor this game. He chose mechanized assault a while ago, so he is going to be going with Tigers. If we take a look, he's got 118 fuel right now. He didn't even tech past Battle Phase 1. Probably has no intention of doing so either. Just going to be saving all of his fuel for Tigers, which, like I mentioned before, is very pop cap expensive. He's actually at the highest pop cap. Look at that really crippled manpower income as a result. Despite not necessarily having that much bigger of an army than his opponents. I guess it's a little bigger. He's actually got quite a sizable force of infantry and team weapons. That mortar's just now hitting Vet 3. If mortars could get Vet for dropping smoke in critical situations, that would certainly have been a candidate. I think that that mortar deserves Vet 3.
We are as ready as we can be. We're under attack. Enemy contact.
Infantry support gun getting some good shots in here in the north. It's actually up to 25 kills, performing better than most infantry support guns I've seen this tournament. And that's largely because it's firing at really blunt positions here. Also, nice light artillery barrage. Ouch. That has some nasty hits. Forcing almost a full retreat from Disillusion's infantry. And the Tiger hasn't really seen like that much action. Yeah, it hasn't done anything yet. I'm not really sure what Honeynuts is doing with that. He must be planning to try and circle around and find a good target on the flank, or maybe... yeah, he's circling around here. He's gonna try and hit that Scott. Oh, there it goes. So he takes that out, but there is a Jackson there. And I think he's just gonna pull back now. Yeah. Jackson's dealing really heavy damage to the Tiger, but I think chasing would be a huge mistake. He needs to be careful if he gets Fausted. Could be a dead Jackson. I think he might be able to get to safety. There's not really anything in the area to follow up. Lemon kind of struggling to keep his T-34s repaired here. He's only got one squad of combat engineers. He's creating more now. The Allies just keep on losing ground. There hasn't really been a huge decisive engagement here. They just kind of keep getting whittled away. Dusty and Honeynuts finding opportunities and capitalizing on them. The Jagdpanzer sniping a vehicle here. Tiger sniping a vehicle there. Some pretty good light artillery barrages also bleeding infantry manpower, and the Ogres and vetted over Commando West units are just proving to be a little too much for the Allies to handle here. It's just kind of a matter of time, I think, before they get fully overwhelmed. He's trying to screen with Obers. It didn't work. Wow, that's quite an AT gun collection there that Honeynuts has. Oh, wow. I'm not sure how the Stuggy ended up in such an extremely vulnerable position, but apparently it did. It didn't last long. Jagdpanzer mobilizing to counter. Dusty's infantry taking heavy damage, though. Assault artillery is getting called in on this sector, but the Jackson is reversing into it a little bit. Jagd is just doing so much damage. Those T-34s, if he's not more aggressive with those, he stands no chance in a slugfest against that thing. Now that it's Vet 2 especially. There's just no way. Hunting's massive AT gun blob is moving up. Wow, that T-34 stood no chance. Jackson circling around from over there, but if it tries to finish him off in this massive cluster of AT guns, he's just got instantly one-shotted, one volley. Oh, another Jackson circles around the bottom, but there's a Tiger there. I'm surprised Tynus is backing away. He should definitely go in on that. If he hadn't backed away, that would be another dead Jackson. I can't believe the Allies can't punish this. Oh, geez, that's just begging for like a shock troop squad or like a paratroopers with Thompsons or something to just like walk through and just kill everything. Some Allied harassment happening here in the south. Paratroopers trying to grab territory. Tiger being used to counter harass. And actually nobody holds the north fuel right now, interestingly enough. Oh, heavy mortar gets retreat bugged. Just trying to retreat it again. Conscripts moving up to support. Vet 4 Fusiliers, Vet 2 Overs, light artillery barrage. Oh, that was a nasty one. That one really hurt. Fusiliers trying to clear out this AT gun, but I think they might get pushed away. Yeah, there they go.
We have an isolated sector.
I think that's actually cutting them off here
Supply lines have been cut.
before moving down to take the munitions.
Taking fire from anti-tank weapons.
And Honeynuts is actually floating quite a bit. And that's mostly because he has 4 AT guns and like all this other stuff. Can't call in anything else. I'm almost surprised to see him not like teching up. Like that might be an okay way to spend resources at this point. Dusty grabbing a Jagd Tiger. So Jagd Panzer into Jagd Tiger. He only produced Overs from this, no Panther or anything like that. And Jagd Tiger is pretty much gonna mean that none of these tanks have any chance of pushing, really. It's just like I said before, just kind of been a slow bleed rather than one insane like one big decisive engagement. It's just kind of been Allies losing units and territory here and there.
The enemy now have 200 points.
New Sherman on the field, but it stands no chance against the Tiger. I don't know why Honeynuts is being so conservative with his Tiger. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. I guess he's afraid of M20 mines. Certainly, there's no reason for him to push, other than to wipe out enemy units. They just need to continue to hold the victory points in the territory. T-34 is heavily wounded. I'm surprised that the Axis are pushing like the base when they could just grab this victory point, which they're doing now. Yeah, the size of this map makes this a pretty good location for the battle group headquarters, though. And I don't know. We've now seen Axis win on it twice. It looks like.
Capture complete. Standing by.
So maybe I was a little too quick to.
Cover the advances.
I was a little too quick to say that this map might favor the Allies.
Fundamental HQ
I think the size definitely favors maybe the U.S. forces with higher mobility. With their light vehicles and medium tank, they're really quick medium tanks. I don't know. Still haven't quite made up my mind on this one.
It is finished. Good work. Enemy down to 100 points. The command vehicle has gone static. HQ operations now underway.
Looks like they're making a final desperate push with T-34s here, but they're diving right into a Tiger and a Yag Tiger. Through days, mark target going out. First T-34 gets abandoned. There's AT guns here to support 2 packs. More field guns set up here. T-34 stood no chance. The infantry are moving up to follow up, but definitely not going to be able to do anything against this. It's definitely GG. And there you have it, Lemon and Disillusion surrendering. Which finally, Lemon and Disillusion are actually now in danger of being eliminated from the tournament if they lose one more game. It's going to be it for them, and we're going to see if Honeynuts and Dusty can keep up this momentum. That game, I don't know if I would say that game was close. It was long, but I feel like the Axis just kind of executed quite well from start to finish, with the exception of that Yag Tiger, our Yag Panther hitting that mine. But I absolutely was amazed that it survived that. So stick around for just a few minutes, and we'll be right back for Game 2 of the elimination round NA bracket.